Hi, my name is Emmy. I'm here to interview you guys for Newspaper Club. The first question is that when was this club formed?
Last April.
Last April. What do you wish to see for the future of this club?
I like to see kids get outside and get off their phones and appreciate nature and learn a skill that they can pass on to their kids and really appreciate the world around us other than what they see on their phones.
What skills do you want to see in those kids? Like, what skills do you like? What skills do you like the best for them?
Well, first off, I want to see them have basic understanding of how to fish, what a fishing rod is, how it works, so that they know that they can go out confidently and catch fish and do it. I also want them to be able to research and know what kind of fish they're catching, know the regulations so that they don't catch the wrong fish or get in trouble or whatnot. And I also want them to know that conservation is a huge part of being a fisherman, appreciating the world around us and the lakes and rivers and streams and ocean. That's our natural resources, and it's something we all share. And a lot of times we take it for granted, leaving trash out in a park or dropping something out the window when you're driving. It all goes back, and eventually it's going to cause harm to all of us, not just the people that dropped it or people that got exposed to it, but everybody. And not just people now, but people in the future. So if I could teach people to be aware and teach conservation through fishing, and also teach a life skill that gets kids, walking around outside, hiking, exploring, researching, critical thinking continually, understanding how to be a better human being, I know that they're going to pass that forward to somebody else. And that movement is not something that I'm doing anymore. It's something that they're all doing for the world. And everyone's better for it.
So for conservation, how will you implement it more towards the club? So like rules, obligations, is it strictly something that everyone should do in this club, or is it more as just do it as you will?
Well, it's kind of twofold. One, it should be, and I'm hoping to teach the desire to want to take care of the environment for yourself and to empower people. I'm a firm believer in the Essers at this school and being empowered, an empowered learner, not just in the classroom, but in the world. So when you go out to a lake, you go somewhere that it's the responsible thing for you to pick up line, to put your line in the correct line disposal areas, to put your trash in the correct receptacles, to recycle when you can. These are things that I want them to learn. To do that, I'm going to help them. I'm going to do that by modeling it, by showing them. And we'll do that together. We'll do cleanups, we'll do beach cleanups, we'll do park cleanups. And when people start cleaning up and seeing what people leave, it really does kind of open their minds to maybe some things maybe they did in the past or they saw a friend do and didn't really think too much of it. But now they're going to see the harm and really the greater good of not doing that for the world around us.
What is your favorite fish?
My favorite fish to eat or catch?
Either way.
To catch is definitely trout. I love trout fishing, ultralight setups, really light line, fighting these fish, mimicking the fish species, the food that fish species eats. I love eating halibut and tuna, so I also love catching them too. Those are very big fish that fight a lot, and it's a struggle to get them in, and it feels amazing when you do. But if I could only pick one fish to catch for the rest of my life, I would say a mahi-mahi. That's my favorite eating fish, and it's one of the most fun fish to catch. They change color, they jump out of the water. Truly amazing fish, truly.
Also, what is your favorite fish, also?
What is my favorite fish?
Yeah.
To eat or just to catch?
Either way.
Or for both? I would have to go with Mr. Kohler as well. I really enjoyed trout fishing. It was my first experience catching a fish was a trout, and as well as eating it. And so I enjoy the catch. I enjoy the eating of, you catch your fish, you bring it back to camp, you get a chance to clean it, and then you get to eat it. It's fresh. So I would say for freshwater, it would be trout.
So I do know that you are an anatomy teacher. So how would you properly explain the anatomy of a fishing rod?
How would I explain the anatomy of a fishing rod? Wow. I would have to defer to Mr. Kohler. He'd probably be better at explaining the anatomy of the fishing rod.
Of a fishing rod or a fish?
Yeah.
Of the fishing rod, the anatomy of fishing rod. Well, the fishing rod is going to be first off a long rod of some sort, either bamboo, wood, fiberglass, graphite, or any combination of the two. It's going to have these things called little eyes on there, which the line's going to be guided through, and it's going to be attached to a reel of some sort. Now, there's a bunch of different types of reels: conventional, spinning, fly, bait casting. The same premise is you turn the handle, a gear spins around and pulls the line, wraps around the spool so that you can retrieve your line, hopefully attached to a fish, and you have your dinner in your pocket.
How could you buy your fishing rods? Like where? Like I do know that you mentioned like you have to be over like 16 or.
Well, you have to be, if you're 16 and old, you have to have a fishing license. You can buy a fishing rod at any age.
Could you explain what happened in 2018? You did mention that there was an issue regarding the GODINEZ lake.
There was a big die-off. They call it the big die-off. What happened was it got really hot here. We had about 5 days or so over 100 degrees. And it got so hot that the water got too hot and the water flipped. And all the fish, all the oxygen, all the mud and junk from the bottom became on the top of the water column. When that happens, it becomes an atopic zone. It means there's no oxygen in the water. No oxygen in the water, fish die. So there was a massive die-off. There must have been hundreds, I'm not lying, hundreds. It took them a couple days with big vans and pickup trucks, and they were scooping out massive fish. I mean, bass this fat, this big, trophy fish that you would die to catch, were all floating dead in the lake. Because of that, they used to stock with trout. We would see ospreys come and grab them out of the water. It was a beautiful wild area, but that die-off really, unfortunately, started the algae problem that we have here. So we have a blue-green algae and a green algae that have just been overwhelming the lake. Nutrients run off from the fields, right? They grow all the algae. The algae dies. When it dies, it decomposes, pulls the oxygen out of the water, and then that atopic zone is again, and then the fish die. So that's why they've redone the whole filtration system. It's a multi-million-dollar project they're doing right now, and it's started last year, and it will be completed, like I said, in the fall here, where we should have crystal clear water. They will again stock with trout. They will stock with catfish in the spring for these to do a spring fishing contest for kids, and then they put bass in the summer. Naturally, bluegills are here, and green sunfish are here, and tilapia are here. So it's going to be a whole bunch of fish, and the ecosystem is going to be a lot more stable for the migratory birds that come and use the lake as a natural migratory stop to feed as they live their natural life.
Okay, thank you. The possibility of like ever owning like your dream lake or like ever catching like a dream fish, what would it be?
A dream fish? A dream house for me would be to have some house very close, walking distance, but not right on it because I don't want my house to fall off, but next to a salmon river. I'd love to be able to go catch salmon whenever I could. I love eating salmon. I've never caught a salmon before, and from what I've heard and what I've seen, it looks like a really fun fish to catch. So I would love to live near or have access to a salmon river for myself. So.
And how about you?
Wow. I would have a house that would be near the ocean. So that would be probably the similar, like something where my house is on a hill and overlooks the ocean, and I can walk down to the beach, and I can, when it's not busy, and be able to fish the ocean and relax and enjoy that experience, and that would probably be my ideal kind of like living situation.
I do remember you guys mentioning a bobber, but I wasn't too sure of the definition. Could you properly explain it?
Sure. A bobber is a flotation device that you can hook onto your fishing line, and it stays in one specific spot. So you can adjust the length that the hook is going to be in the water column, and it floats on top. So as your bait, your soft bait, your lure, whatever you have under the water is sitting there, you can't see it, but you can see the bobber. So what happens when a fish grabs it and pulls it, you'll see your bobber go under the water, and then you know there's a fish on there, and you're going to set the hook then.
Is there like a future where you could see like the best fishing team here at GODINEZ? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, hello.
Anything's possible.
Totally. Completely.
Especially because we
100%.
have a resource right here that the kids we can walk over and use and hone, they can hone their skills and get good at the technique of fishing. So I think that's very possible.
We're going to be the #1 fishing club in Orange County, if not California, because we have 2 very experienced, super awesome teachers that are going to share their knowledge go out there on a daily basis to the lake that's right on our school. This is going to be world-class waters, and we're going to really open the minds of a lot of people in Santa Ana.
What qualities or techniques can kids here at GODINEZ learn?
Fishing-wise, like I said, conservation first off, awareness, critical thinking, being empowered, being responsible. These are all the components of a fisherman. So as they learn to fish, they're going to incorporate this into their fishing and also into their lives. They're going to be a better person for it. They're going to be more aware of their surroundings. They're going to be more aware of their actions. And a lot of times they're going to be nicer to people and more understanding that differences exist with everybody, but our similarities are a lot more. And when we start to focus on our similarities and we focus on our skills, we create a positive environment. And everybody knows when you're in a positive environment, that's where higher learning really, really, really shines.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I also noticed during Club Rush there was a lot of guys who signed up. So how could you promote female inclusivity?
Well, that's a good one because that's something I really want to try. I have a daughter that likes to fish as well. I have 2 sons that also like to fish. But just being open and understanding that it's a new skill for them and, not comparing anybody. It's not a contest. This is not a game. We're here teaching a skill that's fun, and we're trying to do that in a really relaxed way, but education-based, so that they can see that, if you practice and you learn, then everybody's equal. It doesn't make a difference what color you are, if you're a girl or boy. If you want to get out and learn to fish, all you got to do is ask, because we're ready to teach you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the final part of the interview. So the final question is, what makes fishing so fun for you guys?
Well, for me, I'm a biologist. I love to study the world around me and figure out how everything works and my place in that. And when I fish, I get to become part of that environment. I get to immerse myself. I get to be, like I said earlier, a grasshopper for a second or a minnow. I get to see what the fish is doing. Where's he going to hide? If I was a fish, where would I be? If I'm eating this, how would I eat it? So when I'm out fishing, I get a chance to really, like people say, it's in God's country. You get a chance to really immerse yourself in this world and appreciate all the wonders that are just outside the door.
I don't know how to follow that up. I think that's what makes Mr. Kohler such a good fisherman. On the years I've spent fishing with him, we've given him the nickname the Fish Whisperer, because he thinks like a fish. But anyways, for me, it's all about being outside. It always has been. It's like I love doing things outside. It could be fishing, it could be surfing, swimming, hiking, whatever it is. I've always been an outside person. I love being active and as well. I was a biology major in college, and I have my degree in that. So I've always been fascinated by wildlife, the things I see, and just the appreciation of it and the beauty of it.
Okay, thank you guys for letting us interview.